BS Film Study.
All right, I'm a little behind on my James Daniels review film. I'm going to do a no BS film study on James. Sorry, I've been sick. The family's sick. They're getting back from the doctors today. It was a whole thing. But I really wanted to be accurate with this thing. I've been watching film on him, really thinking about it, going through the analytics, pooling it all together. No BS means I'm not here to float your boat, to get clicks, to tell you that we're on our way. I'm not here to tell you we're not. I'm here to give you the straight skinny on what I see. It's not always right, but so far over the last few years, my offensive line accuracy has been quite good. I got a little ribbing from some of the gurus last year on my no BS film studies because what I do is I try to evaluate core skill set strengths and weaknesses. And to me, that's the platform with which you build your evaluation. The technical side, it's important. Obviously, it's huge. But you've got to see what can these guys do from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, and then how do they match up with each other on the O-line. O-line is huge on chemistry. But it's not just working together. It's how do the skill sets match up. I've been saying for a few years, it's like a superhero team. Can't have all Spider-Mans. You can't have all Hulks. You got to have your Iron Man, your Spider-Man, your Hulk. And how they mesh together makes the superhero team. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to show you James Daniels from the analytics side and from the film side. And clearly, you got to understand, this is an upgrade. It's not hard when you got Jones, he's not fitting the system, and you got Eichenberg, who's not good. But it is an upgrade with the caveat of how does he bounce back from that Achilles injury. You could see with Phillips last year, he was midway through the season. He was starting to get a little traction, but he was still recovering. It's a serious, grievous injury to have your Achilles injured and damage. And it might not be till the end of this season or next season where you see what Daniels can fully do, but he will be an upgrade even on the mend. Okay, so but he's not elite, guys. He got $8 million for a reason. But like Brewer, who struggled with the Titans, Daniels, who had good 3 games last year, but there's a little caveat, and I don't talk about. But he struggled prior. He was with Chicago, and it didn't work out. They let him go. They thought he was going to do better, and he didn't. And then he came to the Steelers, and they thought he was going to do better, and he didn't. He has some strong skill sets that fit perfectly with what we do here, but he also has some weaknesses. And because we throw fast, because we don't really use a lot of true pass set snaps, reps, it's going to bolster what he's done, and he's a pretty good pass blocker, again, with some caveats. So that's what I'm going to do here, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. All that stuff keeps me in a biz. If you like what I'm doing here, I need your help to stick because my sponsors want me to get a certain numbers, and if not, then I'm out. So if you like me and you like what I'm doing, help me out with that. And if you already are, thank you. So if you look at him the last 2 seasons, you'll see he had 105 pass snaps, 1 sack he gave up, and 5 hurries, 105, which is not great. It was a 96.8 efficiency grade, and that's the consistency with which you get things done. And consistency is critical for offensive line. 98 is when you start getting good. Now, they threw at 2.38 seconds. We throw 2.04. So it's not like he had a block for a long, long time. It's pretty quick. Not as quick as here. And obviously, because we throw so fast, it's going to definitely help out this grade. But the little bit of a red flag is his efficiency was 91.7 in true pass sets. And he gave up 4 of his 5 pressures through that. Now, again, we don't run a lot of true pass sets, and that's going to mitigate it. But you need to do that once in a while in order to kind of not have to do smoke and mirrors. And so that's a little bit of a concern. But it's a small sample size. I'll get to a bigger sample size with 2023. 539 pass snaps, 1 sack, 24 hurries, 97.7 efficiency grade, which is not terrible. It's almost getting to pretty good. They threw 239, which was very similar to the year before. But the concern is Of his 24 pressures, 21 were given in true pass set, and he only had a 96 efficiency grade, which is not terrible, but it's not what you want. It's not elite blocking. And so when you watch him, he's very mobile. He can pass block, but occasionally he runs into a little bit of problems when it comes to power. Not terrible like Eichenberg or Jackson, but that would be his one weakness. And again, we have to consider he's paired next to Jackson and paired next to Brewer. Some people said he didn't struggle with power at the beginning of the season, but a lot of people said that Brewer struggled at the end of the season, and so does Jackson. And so where do they put Daniels? Do they have Eichenberg, or do they bring another guy in it? It's going to play out a lot. It's going to be very interesting how they lay these guys out. So overall, upgrade, but the Achilles, beyond it even, there is a little bit of concern. But he was cheap, and so, it's good. It's a good addition. So let's get to the film and see what we see. All right, we're going to open up with his pass protection. You can see here, nice job, hands off. I liked how he does that. You could see consistently in the film, he works great in the gap. He works well with his teammates on both sides, and he's got his head on the swivel. Good job. See here, he's good on the move. That's not easy for a guy who's 320 pounds. And this is the stuff we like to do, get guys on the move. So he's got a good platform, he's got good feet, and he can be an agile blocker. And that's going to be critical for us. Something we did not have with Jones and Eichenberg. Here you can see him again, just using his hands well. Fighting off, putting the hands in the chest, stabbing, not losing balance, keeping his feet moving. These are all good things. See here, a little bit of struggle, is a scrum there, but he does good early, but you can see the hands get inside a little bit on the defender, and the defender just used that power to kind of get to the outside. Not terrible, but that's one of the true set blocks we could see he struggled with. Here again, nice job on Pierce, one-on-one. He gets driven back, but Pierce is a gigantic man. And so it wasn't put on skates. He's fighting each step, but he was getting a little dominated. But Pierce, again, at 360 pounds, 6 feet tall, is just a unique specimen. All right, so here's the doubles. Him working the doubles in the run game. See here, good job. And then look at that rollback. That's great awareness, great feet. And he's the guy who opens this thing up for a big run. That's going to be good for something like Achane popping through that hole. Something we didn't have. Wynn sort of was like that, but not nearly as good. Again, you can see the double here on Pierce. He gets thrown at the end, no big deal. But he moved them out. So he's not going to get totally stalled all the time. And that's a gigantic man, a unique figure in the NFL, or was. See again here on the double. Nice job pushing him to the outside. He falls at the end, no big deal. But at 324, he does have some cement when the double's happening. He's able to really drive guys out better. He's more mobile than Jones, not as powerful, but way more powerful and mobile than Eichenberg. So it's going to be a good asset for us. Here's the double here, but he kind of gets stalled out a little bit. Turns him, but he's not able to really dominate him. And you can see somehow that sometimes the power, he just can't handle the power. So he gets in there. You'd like to see him dig him out. You can see sometimes the power does have its way with him. But you can see here too, though, he gets the double. I think it's Pierce inside, sets himself, and they're not really able to dislodge him. And they got to bounce it back inside. Not a bad job, but not a great job. But again, Pierce, Pierce is the highest level of plugger. There's nobody else in our division. There's nobody in our division, maybe in the league, except for Vita Vea, that's that good at handling the doubles. But then you get to the one-on-one, it's not as good. You can see here, gets the hand inside. He does drive him out, but the stab inside kind of pushed him off, kind of had him going parallel to the line of scrimmage. Not the best, not terrible. See here, one-on-one, toss to the ground. You can see a little bit of struggles there with the power. One-on-one here, again, tossed to the ground. leaning a little too much. Again, sometimes guys who struggle with power, they tend to lean to try to put more of their body in it. And a defender can really take advantage of that. Again here, he gets the angle block. He's got the angle, but you can see him getting folded up. Not a terrible block, but he stalled, and then he got driven back. So, all right, so he can move. Occasionally, he can handle power to a decent degree on the pass rush. He works well in doubles, which is going to be big for what we want to do. He can get to the second level. Didn't put a lot of that out there. There's some really good guys doing film, and you can see all the positive stuff. You can see him getting to the second level. He's pretty good at that. Sometimes he misses. What does the Achilles do to slow that down? We got to wait to see. So he can pass block. He can work pretty well in the doubles. He had Frazier through most of that film, and Frazier was a darn good pick. I thought we were going to grab him, but the Steelers stole him from us. I'd say he's more balanced than Brewer. Not as good at the second level, but more power. He's about 3'10", 6'3". So he wasn't working with chopped liver. The year before, in 23, he was. Some of the film, I think I had in there like 2 plays that he worked with the chopped liver at the center position. But last year, he had some good help at the center. So he's decent when it comes to moving guys and handling power, but not great. He's good to get to the second level. He can pass block, although there are occasionally lapses. When he's left one-on-one, whether it's the run or the pass, and he comes in front of power, it's where you can get him. But overall, guys, he's going to be going in the easiest job in the NFL, throwing a 2.04, probably again this year. Loads of screens, very little true pass set, and he's going to help us out. We are leaning into the finesse. We're leaning into the pass. But again, my keys have been, what do you do in the A and B gap? I think before just about anybody, I talked about the cycle changing, the pass balance. And when you get into the red zone, a lot of the stuff we do to finesse, it doesn't work. You've got to dig guys out and drive them out. He, again, is better than Eichenberg, but I don't think him being next to Jackson and being next to Brewer is going to be a power side. Now, you could move him next to Paul and offset a little bit, and then maybe, hopefully, get a nice, strong guard, a Hunt-like guard at right guard, and then you could start doing stuff. But I'll wait to see how we lay this thing out. If Eichenberg is starting, I am concerned even with Daniels. But overall, a good addition. Not a great, but a good addition. And let's see how quick he gets back. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope it was informative. I'm not here to float your boat. I'm here to tell you what I see. It's not always right, but I am always honest. Not always right. Wished I was. I wish I was always right and always honest. Anyway, Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.